Hey guys, how's it going? So today we're going to talk about how you can do listening practice at home. Well, this is something that's very important. It will help you with your English. It will help you with your test scores. It's something you can do for free, and you have so many resources. So let's get into it. First of all, this is something that I suggest doing once or twice a week. It would take you about 10 to 20 minutes. The key thing when you are doing listening practice at home is to adjust the speed. We're going to start with things maybe at 75% speed, then get a little faster, 80, 85. The key thing is that you try to improve. You get more comfortable at faster speeds. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Here we're going to have 3 websites that I will have links to in the description. I suggest that you find clips that are about 2 to 6 minutes. All of these are. You take notes, and then you write about it or talk about it. Now, these sites are really useful because the content will probably be on a test. Most of it is going to be big stories in the news or things that are always happening. So it's good vocabulary to know. It's good topics to know. One thing that you really need to be able to do is paraphrase, that means to put in your own words. Okay, that is so important whenever you're going to be taking a test. And then this will also help you take notes. So the best one is going to be BBC Learning English. And they have a section called 6-Minute English. And all of these are going to be short stories that have sound you can listen to. I want to do this one. It's a newer one. Is the recycling system broken? And so they're even going to ask a question. On average, how many kilograms of household waste were generated per person in the UK last year? Whoa. I'm going to say it was 480. That's my guess. But it's just a guess. We're going to listen. They give useful vocabulary right here, things that maybe you don't know, like scrap, public at large, raise consciousness. So virgin plastic, which would mean, as they say, original unused plastic for the first time, not recycled. You could also have virgin paper, which means that it's not recycled. Okay? So now you can just hit play.
6-Minute English from bbclearningenglish.com.
Okay.
Hello, this is 6-Minute English from BBC Learning English. I'm Neil.
And I'm Georgina.
Now that is normal speed, and again we want to adjust it so it's very easy to be able to do this. We can just go, and I copied, is the recycling system broken? I'm just going to paste that up here, YouTube, and then BBC. You can put Learning English, 6-Minute English, and it's going to come here. This is the easiest way to do it. On a Mac, a PC, an iPad, a phone.
It's not that easy, but Grammarly can.
And okay. So, right here we can go to the settings. Go to the speed. We're going to first start it at 75%. Okay? It's going to be slow, and which is fine. You want to make it a little difficult. As we said right here, when you practice, you want it to be a little difficult, but not too difficult.
6-Minute English from bbclearningenglish.com.
Hello, this is 6-Minute English from BBC Learning English. I'm Neil.
And I'm Georgina.
Sorry I was late today, Georgina. I'd forgotten to take the recycling bins out for the rubbish collection this morning. I seem to have more and more plastic packaging each week. Actually, that's the topic of our program. With more and more household waste being either incinerated, that's burned, or being buried underground, we'll be asking, is the recycling system improved?
China used to accept 55% of the world's plastic and paper scrap, another word for unwanted waste, or in other words, rubbish. That included waste sent over from Britain, but in 2018 it stopped taking any more.
Other countries like Indonesia and Vietnam took over China's waste processing role, but they too are now sending much of the scrap back, arguing it is contaminated and is harming their own environments.
Okay, so notice the beginning, they were just chatting, nothing important for the content, in my opinion. Then they gave us an important detail. China used to accept 55% of all plastic and paper. They said the word pulp. You don't need to get every word, it's fine. I didn't put that in my notes. Then they also called the word rubbish. It would be like trash. And then 2018, that stopped. China stopped taking it. Then Indonesia and Vietnam started, but now they don't. Okay, now let's try to make it a little faster, okay? Point 8.
This has created major problems for countries in the West who traditionally relied on others to process their recycling waste.
And the problem isn't going away. In fact, we are creating more household waste than ever. So here's my quiz question. On average, how many kilograms of household waste were generated per person in the UK last year? Was it A, 280 kilograms, B, 480 kilograms, or C, 680 kilograms?
That sounds like a lot of waste. I'll say A, 280 kilograms.
Okay, we'll find out later if you're right. Although nowadays people are recycling more, the use of plastic isn't decreasing at the same rate. BBC World Service's programme The Inquiry spoke to Roland Geyer, professor at the University of California, about the current situation.
There's been a real rise in consciousness, which is fantastic, and I'm really glad that now it seems the public at large is really interested in this issue and appalled and wants to do something about it, wants to change it. But at the same time, I don't see yet any real action that would make things better, because while all of this is happening, the virgin plastic industry is actually increasing its production capacity.
Workers who process recycling are often exposed to dangerous waste materials which can harm them. Professor Geyer says there has been a raise in consciousness about this problem, meaning that people are being told about an unfair situation with the aim of asking them to help change it. Now, Professor Geyer is an American and he uses raise as a noun.
The main problem comes from...
Now, I'm going to make it just a little bit faster. So I don't know exactly where you would be. If this is easy, maybe consider going faster than 100%. This is a skill that a lot of translators use to become very quick at taking notes and really work on their listening.
Virgin plastic, original unused plastic containers. These are made directly from fossil fuels like crude oil or natural gas, major sources of carbon dioxide and climate change.
But consciousness raising of this issue is having an impact. The public at large, meaning most people in the world rather than just some of them, are concerned about the increase in plastic waste and want to do something to help.
However, it's not always easy to know what the best way to help is.
Another expert, Professor Monik Sun, believes that focusing only on recycling may not be the best idea. She conducted psychological experiments to find out more about people's attitudes to recycling.
And surprisingly found that if people know recycling is an option, they tend to use more resources. They reduce any guilty feelings by telling themselves that the material will be recycled anyway.
We have this slogan of reduce, reuse, and recycle, and the priority should be exactly that. Reduce and reuse is better than recycling, and the cost of recycling is often not emphasized enough. People perceive recycling to be great, but there is actually significant labor and material.
Let's make it just a little faster now. This is just an example. You would do it at your own speed. Whatever is a little hard, but not too hard.
Costs associated with recycling.
Professor Sun mentions reduce, reuse, and recycle as a useful slogan, a short, easily remembered phrase often used to promote an idea, in this case, that we should all do what we can to protect the environment.
But while protecting the planet is a common goal, recycling in itself may not be so important. It's better to reduce and reuse than recycle. So these two objectives should be emphasized, highlighted as being especially important.
Do you remember my quiz question? I asked you how many kilograms of waste the average British person generated last year.
I reckon it was A, 280 kilograms.
That would be bad enough, but the real answer is B, 480 kilograms. Multiply that by the UK population of 66 million and you start to see the size of the problem. Today we've been talking about the problems associated with recycling scrap, another word for rubbish.
Western countries used to send their rubbish to China for recycling, but this caused issues for the local environment. Some groups raised consciousness about the problem, made people aware of the situation to encourage them to help change it.
The public at large, most people in the world, are now aware of the need to reduce, reuse and recycle. The slogan, or short memorable phrase, used by environmentalists to spread their message.
A related problem is the increase of virgin plastic, original unused plastic made from fossil fuels. Recycling is unable to keep pace with virgin plastic production, so instead reducing and reusing plastic should be emphasized, highlighted as being especially important.
And that's all from us. Bye for now.
Bye!
6 Minute English.
Okay, so now here are the notes that I took on this topic. Is the recycling system broken? And you can do two things. You can talk about it for a minute, at least a minute, longer is even better, or you can write about it. So I'm going to do that right now. I will talk about it. So this is talking about recycling, and it begins by talking about how China used to accept most of the world's plastic and paper. They also called it scrap. It's kind of like rubbish. It's going to usually be dirty. You have to process it to recycle it. But in 2018, China stopped receiving all of this plastic and paper. And then a couple other countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, they started to receive it, but then they decided they didn't want to because it's very dirty. And so now major Western countries, they have a problem, and we're making more waste than ever. So they started by asking us, how much does the average person in the UK make a year? And I was right, about 480 kg a year, which is going to be over 1 kg a day. That's a lot of rubbish. They did mention that the use of plastic is not decreasing. There were two interviews. First one was the professor from California, and she mentioned that there's a rise of consciousness, or in other words, people care about it. But the sad thing is that it's they're not making any real changes. And virgin plastic, or the plastic made from oil, is what most of the plastic is. Most of it is not going to be recycled. They just can't recycle it enough. They said the phrase can't keep the pace. They did mention that the plastic recycling is unhealthy for workers. And then also the second professor is something that really surprised me. She focuses on the attitudes towards recycling and found that if people know something is recyclable, they tend to use more. So for example, if you get a plastic container for water and it says the recycle logo on it, you're more likely to buy that, even though it's going to be hard to turn that into a new plastic container. So just having recycling available can increase the amount that people use. That really surprised me. And I think that the key thing to take away from this is that reducing and reusing are the best. So we use fewer resources, whereas recycling is great, but again, it involves problems. So I really think that these two things, as they said, are very important. Again, the thing that shocked me the most is that if people see recycling as an option, they tend to use more. Okay, so I think that was about 2 minutes, and that's something that you could aim for, or you could try to write about it. The key thing is that you're paraphrasing. And notice for some words like RRR, reduce, reuse, recycle, I used short form. You don't need, when you make notes, don't write in sentences. For example, if you're saying going up, going down, decreasing, you could just put like a plus or a minus on your notes. It would be easy to remember. The use of plastic is not, then you know this means going down. I hope that this is helpful. Here also, if you go to Breaking News English, they're similar. Let's say we just go to one topic right here. And then they have a listen section. I suggest going to 5 speeds. And then they will organize it as level 0, 1, 2, 3, and then it goes up higher and higher. This one only has level 3. So this one is going to have the more advanced vocabulary, and then you can just listen to it at the slowest speed.
Black Lives Matter protests take place while...
This you would do the same way as we just did it right here. You can also do British English or American English. Very helpful. And then the last website I'm going to mention is VOA Learning English. So this is the same, this is just the American version. And for this, you can't find it on YouTube, but what you can do is you can download it, as I'm going to do right now. And I have a Mac, so what I can use is VLC player. It is free. It will let you change the speeds, which again is the most important thing.
An increasing number of American cities are rethinking the presence of law enforcement in their schools.
All right.
City officials are considering ways to answer the concerns of thousands of people.
So I hope that was helpful. Again, if you have any questions or comments, let me know. I hope you have a great day. See you later.